the living situations. Sometimes you're in really nice apartments. Sometimes the apartments are better than others, but they're all good, and they all have a really great feel about them. They always fit our needs. You're hardly there. You'll eat lunch with members, usually at 2 o'clock, sometimes 3. You don't. We usually don't eat dinner with members. In fact, we shouldn't eat dinner with members. You wait till you get home at night to eat dinner. You make something for yourself. You're out all day. You're working. You're visiting people. As far as it goes for how we get around, there are buses just about in every area where you'll be. There, if you're inside the city, if you actually, well, sometimes there's the subway system or the metro system. And sometimes you can use that, or there's taxis. Sometimes there's these bike taxis, but you walk a lot. You walk a ton, and sometimes you walk up some really, really big hills. It's one of those things about Mexico City is the hills are unbelievable, and you walk up some really steep hills sometimes. You're gonna wear out your shoes, and that's just kind of the lifestyle. You work and you work, and you have a great time talking to people and teaching the gospel. Well, that's just really how it is. Our president really liked it when we would contact people on buses. He actually taught us to ask permission from the bus driver if we could present ourselves, or if we could start talking to everybody on the bus. So we kind of stand up in front of the whole bus, and we'd get everybody's attention, and we'd tell them a little bit about the gospel, who we are, what we're doing, and then we kind of go to each person, and we try to see if they'd like us to come visit them sometime. That was a really great way to contact, being more efficient with our transportation per se, or we talk to the taxi drivers or people on the metro. As far as it goes for the tips, you need to make sure you get the right price, because sometimes they can raise the price. Like, I don't know, sometimes taxi drivers they raise the price on us, and sometimes we just didn't know any better, but you could haggle a little bit. For crime and safety, most of the areas in the mission are pretty safe. Usually, though, if you are in, trying to stay in safe parts of it, you're fine as long as you're doing what's right, and you just try to be nice to people and be on everybody's good side and everything. Usually things are okay. There's sometimes, it's not always the per se safest area, but for the most part, I think that the areas are pretty safe. One of the funny things, I guess everybody kind of makes jokes about it, is on the metro. It's just so crowded. It's so crazy crowded. There'll just be hundreds of people lined up to get onto the underground train, and you just would not believe the way that people try to get in there. I mean, they all kind of push and shove and kind of throw punches to try to get into the metro, and then they start going in through the windows to try and get in there, and then when you think like nobody else could fit in, like the doors are trying to close on there, more people get in, and you're just kind of astonished by it. And then there's kind of like the panic of when your companion's in there, but you haven't gotten in yet because there wasn't room, and you have to kind of fight your way in to not get separated. It's funny, and it's something that everybody experiences. I personally didn't really have like too many scares. I mean, there was one time I was 4.5 months into the mission. I was pretty new, and I was in Toluca at the time, which is the city outside of Mexico City, and I had to travel into Mexico City to the offices to be with my new companion. And I remember I had to travel alone. I don't know why. At the time, you can't, nobody travels alone anymore, but at the time you could. And I remember I went on a bus from Toluca to Mexico City and to the bus station. And outside of the bus station, some guy just asked me, "Hey, you need a taxi?" And I thought, well, yeah, I do, actually, because I need to go to the mission offices. And so I get in the car with him, and we're driving along, and I'm kind of looking around in his car, and I kind of realize, this guy isn't a taxi. And I'm kind of getting scared, because I'm like, okay, this guy isn't a taxi. So if he's not a taxi, is he gonna take me like where I need to go? And he ended up taking me there to the mission office and everything. I think he charged me a little bit extra because I didn't know any better at the time, but it was kind of scary for me at the moment, because I didn't know if he really was a taxi, if I don't know if he's gonna take me somewhere else or take my money or what.